Welcome back to Stoic Wisdom TV. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know you probably clicked on this video because that thumbnail caught your eye, but stick with me until the end, and I promise you'll walk away with a whole new perspective on how life handles those who've done you wrong. Today, we're diving deep into something real, something that flips the script on how we deal with betrayal, lies, and manipulation. By the time we're a minute in, you'll start to see why chasing revenge or clapping back only drags you down, while staying silent lets the universe do its work. In a world where the worst people often seem to come out on top, where they walk away like they've won, the truth is quieter but unstoppable. Life doesn't settle scores in public. It collects in silence, and karma never misses its mark. This isn't about gloating or wishing harm, it's about understanding how justice unfolds, not in courtrooms or social media battles, but in the quiet corners of someone's life, where no one else is watching. Let's weave through stories, Stoic wisdom, and real-life truths to uncover 5 subtle signs that karma is already at work, delivering consequences to those who hurt you without you lifting a finger. Before we jump in, I've got something special for you, a free resource called the Stoic Guide to Unshakable Peace. It's packed with tools to help you stay grounded and rise above the noise. Grab it now, the link's in the description or pinned comment. Alright, let's get into it. You've been there, haven't you? Someone betrays you, lies about you, manipulates you, and then walks away like nothing happened. They ghosted you after you poured your heart out, stabbed you in the back after you held them down, or tore you down to build themselves up. And now, they're out there, posting pictures, laughing, living their best life, or so it seems. It's easy to think they got away with it, that they're untouchable, that life let them off the hook. But here's the raw truth. The worst people might look like they're winning, but life doesn't let debts go unpaid. It doesn't need a stage or a spotlight to balance the scales. It works in whispers, in moments no one else sees, in the silence that haunts them when the world stops watching. As a Stoic, you don't chase revenge or beg for justice. You observe, you heal, and you trust that karma is already doing its thing. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That's the blueprint. Rise above. Stay silent, and let life teach the lessons you don't need to. When someone wrongs you, it's natural to want them to feel the pain they caused, to see them face consequences in a way that screams fairness. But karma doesn't work like a Hollywood blockbuster, with dramatic showdowns or instant payback. It's subtler, more precise, and far more powerful. It doesn't announce itself with thunderclaps. It creeps in like a shadow, settling into their thoughts, their relationships, their lives. And the beauty of it, you don't have to do a thing. Your job is to focus on your peace, to keep growing, to become so strong that their actions can't shake you. While you're healing, karma's already whispering to them in a language only they understand. And trust me, they feel it every single day. Let's start with the first sign that karma's quietly at work, when they're out there acting like they've never been better. You know the type of person who ghosted you, betrayed your trust, or tore you down. And now they're all over social media, glowing like they just won the lottery. New photos every day, laughing in places you never went together, smiling with people who weren't around when you were holding them up. They're hashtagging blessed, posting inspirational quotes about moving on, flaunting a new partner like they've cracked the code to happiness. If you're not careful, you might buy into it. You might scroll through their feed and think, wow, they're really thriving without me. But here's the truth. Real happiness doesn't need a billboard. Fake happiness does. Think about it. Right after they hurt you, they go quiet for a bit, maybe a few days, maybe a week. Then, boom, suddenly they're back, louder than ever. Selfies with forced smiles, stories dripping with fake joy. A whole campaign to prove they're healed. But look closer. The smile's too wide, the eyes are distant, the energy feels desperate. Happiness isn't loud, but insecurity screams. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." A Stoic doesn't get sucked into their performance, doesn't stalk their stories for closure, doesn't argue or clap back. You observe, because true peace doesn't need to perform, it just is. The louder they try to prove they've moved on, the more they're proving they haven't. I saw this with a friend named Mia. Her ex, Jake, cheated on her and walked away like she was the problem. A week later, he was all over Instagram, posting with a new girl, captioning every photo with stuff like living my truth and surrounded by real ones. Mia was crushed, thinking he'd moved on without a scratch. But a mutual friend spilled the tea. Jake was miserable. He'd call late at night, fishing for info about Mia, obsessing over whether she was okay. His posts were a front, a desperate attempt to drown out the guilt gnawing at him. Karma didn't need Mia to call him out. He showed up every night when he went to bed, knowing he'd traded something real for a lie. No filter, no new fling. No amount of likes could silence that truth. The most exhausting lie is faking peace, and Jake was running on empty. When you see this sign, don't fall for the highlight reel. Let them smile for the camera, because deep down, they know what they lost. Karma doesn't need to crash their party. It's already in their head, whispering, "You messed up something real. Your job? Stay silent, keep healing, and trust that their fake glow up is just a mask for the weight they carry alone." But karma doesn't always show up in their thoughts alone. It works through the world around them, too. Sometimes it's not a loud crash but a slow erosion, a quiet subtraction of the things they took for granted. Imagine the person who hurt you, who dismissed your love, mocked your effort, or betrayed your trust. They thought they could walk away unscathed, that their life would keep humming along. But then, little by little, things start slipping away. A friend stops texting back. A colleague pulls back, no longer trusting them. An opportunity they were counting on vanishes without a word. At first, they brush it off: bad luck, coincidence, no big deal. But the losses keep coming, and soon they're standing in the ruins of what they once had, wondering how it all fell apart. This is the second sign that karma's at work. Life starts taking back what they held carelessly. Karma doesn't always strike like lightning. It's precise, methodical, almost surgical. It doesn't scream or throw tantrums. It simply removes what doesn't align with truth. Maybe they called you too emotional, said you cared too much, rolled their eyes when you poured your heart out. But you were the one who stayed up late, texting them through their darkest moments. You forgave them when they forgot your worth. You believed in them when they didn't believe in themselves. And how did they repay you? They treated your presence like it was guaranteed, not a gift. So you stopped fighting for them. You walked away, quietly, and let them feel the absence of someone who truly cared. At first, they felt free, like they dodged a bullet. But then the silence started to echo. Their circle got smaller. The people they thought they could rely on turned out to be just like them: selfish, dismissive, transactional. The options they thought were endless dried up. The comfort of being understood by someone who saw their flaws and loved them anyway, gone. No one can replicate the space you held for them, especially not someone new who only knows the polished version they're trying to sell. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be one." When you live with integrity, karma doesn't just punish them, it shows them what they lost by betraying someone who embodied that goodness. I knew a guy named Ryan who lived this. His best friend, Nate, betrayed him by spreading lies to climb the social ladder at work. Nate thought he'd come out on top, but over time, his world started shrinking. Colleagues stopped inviting him to drinks, sensing he couldn't be trusted. His new friends only stuck around when he was useful. Meanwhile, Ryan stayed quiet, focused on his own growth, and built a reputation for being solid. Nate's life didn't implode dramatically, but it eroded. Every room felt colder, every connection thinner. He'd traded Ryan's loyalty for a fleeting win, and karma made him live without the depth he once took for granted. That's the thing about karma. It doesn't just take away things, it takes away the version of themselves they were when they had your trust. When you see their world quietly contracting, don't gloat or interfere. Let them lose what they didn't value. Let them learn what it means to live without the safety and depth you offered. Your silence is your strength, and their emptiness is their lesson. But karma's reach goes deeper than what they lose. Sight seeps into their thoughts, lingering like an uninvited guest. You've seen it. They don't say your name, not directly, not publicly, but you're still there, woven into their words. They post cryptic quotes on social media, vague musings about betrayal, loyalty, or fake people. They drop lines in conversations like, "Some people don't know what they had," or "I'm done wasting energy on the wrong ones." It sounds general, like they're just venting, but you know better. You know their language, their patterns, their guilt. This is the third sign that karma's at work. You're still living in their mind, even when they pretend you're gone. Scroll through your feed, and there at ease a post that feels like a bullet wrapped in poetry. No tag, no mention, but every word screams your presence. It's like they're shouting into the void, hoping you'll hear without them having to admit it. That's not power, that's a conscience trying to break through the cracks of a crumbling ego. Their friends might not notice, but you do, because you once loved them enough to read their silences. And now, those silences are shouting back at them. Karma doesn't always punish with events, it punishes with obsession. With thoughts they can't control, regrets they can't bury, memories they thought would fade but won't. I saw this with a woman named Lisa. Her ex, Mark, dumped her out of the blue, saying she was too much. Months later, he was posting vague status updates about learning who's real and cutting out toxicity. Lisa knew it was about her not because she was vain, but because she knew his tells. He'd never admit he missed her, but his words betrayed him. Meanwhile, Lisa stayed silent, rebuilding her life, not responding to his subtle jabs. That silence drove Mark crazy. I wanted a reaction, some sign she still cared. But she gave him nothing. His obsession was his cage, and Lisa's peace was her freedom. Epictetus said, "If someone speaks ill of you, live in such a way that no one will believe it. When they talk in circles about you, don't reply, don't clarify, don't engage. Let them carry your name in their mind, because the more they speak, the more they reveal they're not over you. Your silence is your power. Let them post their quotes, their half-truths, their twisted stories. Let them heal loudly to hide the fact they're not healing at all. You don't need to be in their life to live in their head. That's karma. And the mind is the loudest prison of all. But karma's work doesn't stop at their thoughts. It cuts deeper, into the core of how they see the world and themselves. When someone betrays someone good, they don't just lose them, they lose the ability to trust. Not just others, but themselves. This is the fourth sign that karma's at play. They stop believing in people, and slowly, they stop believing in their own worth. At first, it looks like they're just being cautious. They keep their circle tight, stop opening up, say things like, "I don't trust anyone anymore. Everyone's fake." But peel back the layers, and it's not strength or boundary, it's fear, rooted in the guilt of what they've done. Think about it. They used to be open, laughing freely, trusting easily. But after what they did to you, lying, betraying, dismissing your love, something shifted inside them. Now they question everyone's motives, assuming betrayal before trust, scanning every word for hidden agendas. Why? Because deep down, they know what they're capable of. When you've hurt someone who didn't deserve it, you start to see that potential in everyone else, including yourself. This is karma's most intimate punishment, self-suspicion. It's not loud, but it's relentless, a quiet erosion of their inner peace. Seneca wrote, "He who does wrong rarely trusts anyone else because he knows what he is capable of." The Stoics knew that your conscience is tied to your peace. When you betray your values, you don't just lose others, you lose yourself. I saw this with a guy named Ethan. He manipulated his way out of a friendship with my buddy Sam, spreading lies to save face. At first, Ethan seemed fine, but over time, he grew paranoid. He stopped trusting his new friends, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. He'd say, "You can't rely on anyone these days." But what he meant was, "I can't trust myself." That doubt became his prison, a restlessness he couldn't shake, a voice whispering, "You don't deserve better." Karma didn't need to crash his life. It just fractured his ability to find peace, no matter how quiet the room. When you see them pulling back, doubting everyone, don't feel sorry or try to fix them. That's not your job. You gave them truth, they gave you betrayal. Now karma's giving them what they earned, the quiet collapse of self-trust. Let them sit in that silence, where their conscience becomes the guard of their own prison. And then comes the final, most poetic sign that karma's at work. Life sends them someone just like them. Not a bad match, not a random fling, but a mirror, a living reflection of everything they did to you. At first, it feels like fate. They meet someone charming, magnetic, everything they thought they wanted. The chemistry's electric, the connection feels deep, and they think, "This is it. I've found my match." But they don't realize they're not falling in love, they are falling into a karmic loop. designed to show them who they've been. This time, they're not the one holding the cards. Remember how they made you feel small, like you were never enough. Now they're chasing texts that go unanswered, waiting for calls that never come, posting stories hoping to be noticed, only to get silence. They played hot and cold with you. Now they're with someone who burns them with distance, then pulls them close, then vanishes again. They mocked your vulnerability. Now they open up and get laughed at. They walked away from your loyalty. Now they're begging for commitment from someone who's always half out the door. At first, they make excuses. This person's just complicated. They've got issues. They're misunderstood, but slowly, a chilling realization creeps in. This is what I did to someone else. They won't say it out loud, won't admit it to anyone, but the thought haunts them in the quiet moments before they fall asleep, after another fight, in the pause when their new partner shuts them out. The pain they're feeling isn't random, it's a pattern, a mirror of the hurt they caused. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." But the universe doesn't seek revenge, it seeks balance, and it delivers it by giving them a taste of their own medicine, not through you, but through someone they can't control. This isn't punishment, it's perspective, a lesson felt deeper than any words could teach. I saw this with a woman named Tara. Her ex, Derek, gaslight her for years, making her doubt her worth, then left her for someone better. A year later, Derek was head over heels for a new woman who, surprise, treated him exactly like he'd treated Tara, distant, manipulative, always keeping him guessing. He'd call friends, venting about how she was impossible. But Tara's name kept slipping into his rants. Deep down, he knew this was his reflection. Tara, meanwhile, stayed silent, rebuilding her life, not wasting a second on his drama. Derek's new relationship didn't just hurt him, it showed him who he'd been. And that truth was heavier than any heartbreak. When life sends them their mirror, don't interfere. Let them meet their match, feel the confusion, the powerlessness, the ache of being used and dismissed. Let them see themselves in someone else's actions, because the mirror doesn't lie. That's not revenge, it's return, karma's most poetic form. So what ties these signs together? The fake glow-up, the quiet losses, the obsession, the paranoia, the mirror. They're not random. They're the universe's way of restoring balance, not with fanfare, but with precision. Karma doesn't need your help, your clapbacks, or your proof. It only needs your silence, your composure, your refusal to sink to their level. While they're tangled in lies, pride, and manipulation, you're stepping into something greater: clarity, peace, strength. Stoics don't curse their enemies or chase validation. They walk forward, quietly, powerfully, with a discipline that karma respects. I've been there, hurt by someone who walked away like I didn't matter. I wanted them to see my pain, to face consequences, but Stoicism taught me something better. I stayed silent, focused on my growth, and watched the signs unfold. Their life didn't fall apart overnight, but it unraveled in ways they couldn't ignore: empty connections, nagging guilt, a new partner who mirrored their worst traits. I didn't need to fight them, life did the work, and my peace was my victory. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the Stoic way. Trust the process, rise above, and let karma settle the score. Your pain might tell you to lash out, to make them feel what they did, but that's a trap. The real power is in letting go, not because they deserve it, but because you do. You don't need closure when peace becomes your closure. You don't need justice when time becomes your witness. You don't need them to hurt because life already knows how to teach. Your job is to rise, to become so grounded that no one can shake you again, not even the ghost of the person who wronged you. So how do you walk this path? Start with small, intentional choices. When you see their fake happiness, pause and scroll. Don't react. Just breathe and move on. When their world starts shrinking, don't gloat, focus on building your own. When they post about you without saying your name, don't bite, let their obsession be their cage. When they grow paranoid, don't try to save them or direct your energy to those who see your worth. And when life sends them their mirror, don't interfere. Trust the lesson they're being taught. Practice silence daily, meditate, journal. Read Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius or Seneca to strengthen your mind. Hold your frame, staying calm even when your heart's racing. Choose your battles, saving your energy for what builds you up. And be patient. Karma works on its own timeline, and your peace is worth the wait. This isn't just about watching them face consequence, it's about becoming someone they'll never have access to again. Silence isn't just a response, it's a transformation, a commitment to living with integrity no matter what comes your way. The Stoic doesn't need to scream to be heard or fight to be respected. They know their worth, trust the truth, and let their actions speak louder than any words could. Life will test you through betrayal, lies, or manipulation, but when you master silence, you master yourself. You stop chasing validation and start inspiring respect. You stop fearing pain and start embracing your power. Let me leave you with a story that ties this together. A friend of mine, Alex, was blindsided by a co-worker, Jenna, who spread lies to steal a promotion he'd earned. Alex wanted to confront her, to clear his name, but he chose the Stoic path, silence. He kept working, stayed grounded, and let life unfold. Over time, the signs appeared. Jenna's social media was a parade of forced happiness, but her eyes told a different story. Her new allies drifted away when she wasn't useful. She posted vague rants about fake people, clearly aimed at Alex, but he never responded. She grew paranoid, snapping at colleagues who questioned her. And then, she met her mirror, a new partner who manipulated her the way she'd manipulated others. Jenna's life didn't collapse, but it hollowed out, and Alex's silence made him untouchable. A year later, he got a better job, not because he fought, but because he rose above. His peace was his legacy, and Jenna's consequences were hers to carry. That's the power of karma. It doesn't need your anger or your proof, it works in silence, delivering justice in ways you don't have to orchestrate. You don't need to fight people who are already fighting themselves. You don't need to curse those who are haunted by their own choices. You just need to keep growing, keep healing, keep becoming someone who's unshakable. People who lie to others might sleep fine, but those who lie to themselves, they don't sleep at all. Let them wrestle with their truth while you walk forward, free. If you're carrying the weight of someone's betrayal, don't waste your energy chasing the past. Your silence is your strength. Your peace is your victory, and your growth is your justice. I want to hear from you. What's one moment in this video that hit you hardest? Drop it in the comments. Your story could help someone else keep going. If you're walking this path of silence and strength, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more real talk on Stoicism, clarity, and rising above. Don't forget to grab your free Stoic guide to unshakable peace, links in the description. Until next time, stay silent, stay strong, and let karma do what it does best. If this message resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that will help you create the life you truly deserve.